we're going to be going over the best cards in the Flames of Destruction set. So basically the money cards in the entirety of the set. Now that we have seen like pull ratios as well as just like kind of what is defining what people are playing, Goki's obviously a really, really, really strong deck. There's a lot of other like Magician decks still, but the best card in the entire set right now, Infinite Impermanence, sitting at about like $80+ right now. This is definitely the best card out of the set in terms of like money wise. We will also go over some small common cards that are also pretty decent in the set. But yeah, this is definitely the money card in the set. Next up, we have Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. It's kind of like a little hand trap, and it's starting about like $35-ish. As keep in mind, all these prices are at the time of me making this video. The set has only been out for less than like two weeks, I want to say. And then there's also Corruptor Ibli, another like $45-ish card. Really, really good card. Amazing against Brandish is usually what you can be using it for. But it also is really dirty in Goki's. You just play one of them and you pretty much summon this. And game over. This is definitely like a win ultra hard card. Definitely great in the side deck as well. There's a lot of Nightmare stuff that's really good. It's obviously, again, used in Goki's, because Goki's finally got, like, Octo Stretch and Bear Hug or Hug Bear, whatever they decided to make the name. Nightmare Unicorn's about $25 at the moment. Topologic Trisbania. I thought this card was going to be a little bit more expensive. It's actually only $10. Pretty solid card for majority of decks. It has the effect where if a monster spells summon to a zone this card points to, you get to banish as many of those monsters as possible. Also as many spells and traps on the field as possible. And if you do, you get to burn your opponent for 500. It has the effect against certain decks just to like blow out, and it's just a pretty decent card for sure. And next up we have the Nightmare Goblin. It's about $10. Basically all the Nightmare stuff is kind of just like, they all have like some bonus effect where like some type of discard to like draw or discard to get something. Every single one of them has the effect of either like boosting up your stats or essentially lowering your opponent's stats or making your monsters immune to being like targeted or destroyed by battle or being destroyed by card effects is basically what all the Nightmares do. Nightmare Gryphon actually is only $24 at the moment of this video. I thought it was going to be more pricey, but he has the effect where you get to discard a card and target a spell trap card in your graveyard and you get to set it. Usually it's going to be Imperial Order, and then you set Imperial Order, game over. Easy win conditions. Vampire Sucker, it's one of the secret rares in the set. It's a little bit one of the lower ones, but I still think it's an okay card to mention. It's not like, I mean, most of the secret rares are worth something, and some of them are worth like, very little, like the Element Saber cards in the set. But for the most part, it's not a bad card. Multi-Faker is surprisingly only $13. I don't think there's that many people that enjoy playing this deck, but I still see it like once in a while. It's just a slow deck, resident sleeper deck definitely. And I also wanted to mention like the Element Sabers. They are in here. I don't think that they are like the best cards, but like since we're going kind of towards the bottom at this point, Molehue is definitely, well, as well as all of the Element Sabers, are only like $2 to $3. So if you want like an okay-ish archetype, they're not that bad, but are they going to be bad at? I don't think that they're even on the same level as certain other decks. Next up, some of these cards are like $2 to $3. Red Reboot, I still think it's a great card in the set. We're getting into kind of like other great cards in the set that aren't necessarily money-wise. But Red Reboot is really good, especially if you're going first and playing Goki's. When an opponent activates a trap card, and well, it's basically this specific trap card that they're going to be activating. It just allows you to basically respond to it. So Red Reboot lets you negate Infinite Impermanence and makes it so when your opponent activates that, you can negate the activation. They get to reset the card, and then they also get to set another trap, but it doesn't matter because they can't really play Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyways. So that's the point of that. Also, smaller cards are worth like $1 to $2. I think Waking the Dragon is an excellent card. I actually made a video on this. I'll link it down below if you guys are watching this on YouTube. Basically, well, you set it and you special summon like anything you want from like the extra deck. It's really insane. Or your deck. It's like a surprise prank. If it goes off, sometimes you just win the game. Like, you can summon the Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon, you can summon Eteria Exteria, you can summon the Titanic Galaxy. There's a lot of cards that you can summon with you like instantly just win the game. Like, it's kind of unfair. Network Trap Hole is kind of one of those like cards where I think it has a lot of potential in the side deck. It's only like $1 to $2. I think it's an okay investment if you can get them as throw-ins, like $1 trades. Network Trap Hole says, when your opponent special summons a monster or monsters from the main deck or graveyard, you get to banish it face down. It can be really good against a lot of different decks. In fact, it can get rid of some of the matchups with the Fairy Tail deck, because they're going to be special summoning from the main deck. It just lets you banish it, and then they don't really have a follow-up play, then you can just get rid of the field spell. But Network Trap Hole, I definitely think it's a great side deck card if you can get them for $1. I think it's a very safe investment. Next up, though, we have Sekka's Light. This card is only rare. Again, these are like really small cards. But Sekka's Light is, if you have no spells and traps in your graveyard, you get to draw 2 cards, and for the rest of the duel, after you activate this, you can't activate spell or trap cards or effects except for Sekka's Light. Then you can also banish it from your graveyard, reveal a monster in your hand, shuffle into the deck, and then draw another card. The only competitive deck that has seen play with this is Mermails, and Mermails can actually be pretty good, obviously, with any ban list with Triple Dragoons. There you go. But anyways, those are the best cards in the latest Flames of Destruction set, especially if you're looking at money-wise. Keep in mind that this video was made at this specific time. Card prices change almost every day, but this can kind of give you guys an idea for those of you guys that wanted to see, like, what are the best cards, what are the new cards in the set. There are some other cards, like I mentioned before, I didn't really feel like they were worth mentioning, but these are the cards that most people thought, like, okay, these are the good cards. There's a few stuff for, like, World Legacy, there's a lot of Goki cards, but most of the Gokis are literally just there to have the Goki name and actually search out another Goki card. But most of them are like $1 anyways, like Bear Hug and Hug Bear, or like I said, whatever. There's a few Trickstar cards, but overall, these are the best cards out of the new set. But if you feel like I missed out any, and you're watching this on YouTube, let me know down below in the comment section. But that's Flames of Destruction set. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button to see more best cards of whatever the next set is.